Welcome to the 39th Annual Marine Corps Heritage Foundation Awards Program, brought to you virtually for the first and hopefully last time. Here's your Master of Ceremonies for the evening, Foundation President and CEO, Major General James W. Lukeman.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this prestigious annual event, coming to you from this beautiful home for all Marines, the National Museum of the Marine Corps. Our program looks a little different tonight, as we've made some changes to bringing this to you in your home or wherever you may be. 1 year ago, when we postponed our awards ceremony, I don't think any of us could have anticipated what the past year would bring. 2020 certainly presented some unique challenges, but we all found new ways to connect virtually. And while we share in the disappointment of not celebrating together here at the National Museum of the Marine Corps, our number one concern is the health and safety of our guests, staff, and community. Though the museum remains closed to the public, we knew we could not wait a moment longer to give our award recipients the proper honor and recognition they deserve. Tonight, we honor 21 individuals who have given new life to the Marine Corps legacy through the arts. The works we celebrate tonight make the Marine Corps experience more accessible, more accurate, and more real to all Americans. Our mission remains unwavering as we continue to preserve and share the history, traditions, and culture of the United States Marine Corps and to educate all Americans in its virtues. We would not be where we are today without the support and generosity of our donors. Thank you. You make our mission a reality. Our National Museum is a truly fitting setting in which to honor the recipients of the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation's annual awards and to recognize the caliber of their work. And because we're doing this virtually, we'll be able to show you different areas of the museum, including some that you may not have seen before. This magnificent home for Marines and their families was built by Marines, patriotic Americans, and like-minded corporations and foundations, many of whom supported our efforts tonight. Thank you for this extraordinary gift to the American people. We remain absolutely committed to ensuring that this magnificent showplace continues to grow for generations of Americans to visit. The evening would not be possible without the generous support of our annual awards sponsors. Please join me in thanking our event sponsor, General Dynamics, along with our table sponsors who have helped make this night possible. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the members of our board of directors, both past and present. Our board members invest their precious time in the accomplishment of our mission. And for that, we are all grateful. We were saddened by the passing last year of our former Vice Chairman David Parker and former board member Lloyd Whitaker. Their presence on the board was instrumental to our success, and we miss them greatly. I'd also like to recognize Susan Hodges, who retired this past July after nearly 40 years with the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. She was an integral part of the awards program, and we thank her for all she's done throughout the years to honor and recognize our award recipients. I am deeply humbled and honored to be a part of this terrific event, following in the footsteps of our former CEO, Major General Jim Kessler, who retired from his role at the end of last year. I cannot thank him enough for his leadership and everything he's done to ensure a smooth transition. I feel incredibly blessed to have the staff that we do at the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation office. I rest easy knowing that they are all hardworking professionals and ensure that we stay on course. They continue to bring passion, energy, and drive in all that they do. And I'd like to recognize all our founders and Commandant Circle members for their loyalty and generous support. They have helped us accomplish the Foundation's many goals, along with the hundreds of thousands of Marines and Americans who've supported our mission with unprecedented loyalty and commitment since our founding. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce the President's own United States Marine Band.
Ein Tag
Present. Home. Home. Thank you to the President's Own for that fantastic performance. We're truly grateful for their continued support of this exceptional evening. They'll join us again later in the program for another performance. Each year, we look forward to recognizing and celebrating individuals and their exemplary works of art that further the understanding of Marine Corps history, traditions, culture, and service. While our typical presentation ceremony could not take place in person, each award recipient has received an engraved medallion, a commemorative brick that will be placed in Semper Fidelis Memorial Park here on the museum grounds, and in some cases, a cash award. Each award recipient has made an extraordinary contribution to the legacy of our Corps and the honor of the Marine for which their award is named. We will hear from the recipients of the Heritage Award and the John A. Lejeune Recognition for Exemplary Leadership a little later. And the Commandant and Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps have also joined us this evening, so there's a lot to look forward to. Without further ado, here are the winners for the 2020 Annual Awards Program. The Colonel Joseph Alexander Award recognizes a distinguished work of biographical or autobiographical literature about a Marine and is given in memory of Colonel Joe Alexander, historian, author, and longtime friend of the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. This year's recipient is Dr. Joseph Arthur Simone for The Greatest of All Leathernecks, John Archer Lejeune and the Making of the Modern Marine Corps, a biography of John Archer Lejeune, 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps. Dr. Simone's interest in military history began when, as a child, he would listen to accounts of World War II veterans. With a master's in history from LSU and a PhD in American military history from the University of Cumbria and Lancaster University in the UK, Dr. Simone initiated his studies of Lieutenant General John Archer Lejeune when historian T. Harry Williams received a research grant from General Walter McElhaney of the Avery Island, Louisiana Tabasco family. Congratulations, Dr. Simone. The Master Sergeant Tom Bartlett Award is named for the late managing editor of Leatherneck magazine and a leading Marine photojournalist, and is given for superior writing pertinent to Marine Corps history during the preceding year by an enlisted writer in any medium. This year's recipient is Lance Corporal Ryan Hajali, United States Marine Corps, for A Marine's Mom, a touching story of a Marine living up to his mother's expectations, even after she passed away. Lance Corporal Hajali grew up in Massachusetts, graduating from Dennis Yarmouth Regional High School in 2018. He was recruited by Staff Sergeant Justin Rome and went to boot camp on Parris Island in August of 2018. After boot camp, he attended Marine combat training and continued to his schoolhouse in Fort Meade, Maryland. He graduated in May 2019 and is stationed at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina. Congratulations, Lance Corporal Hajali. The Lieutenant William Broyles Award is named for the Vietnam veteran and screenwriter of films Flags of Our Fathers, Jarhead, Apollo 13, Castaway, and Quezon. It is given to a playwright or screenwriter for a dramatic work dealing with U.S. Marine Corps heritage or Marine Corps life. This year's recipient is Mr. Alston James for A Hill in Time, an authentic and evocative stage play portrayal of Marines under fire in the Republic of South Vietnam 50 years ago. A professor emeritus, Mr. James taught English and humanities at Monterey Peninsula College for more than 30 years. He's twice been recipient of the Lieutenant William Broyles Award in 2015 and 2018. He's also twice been winner of the British Theatre Challenge in London. His plays have been performed in London and throughout the United States. Additionally, Mr. James is a fiction writer and has written a novel based on his experience coming home after a stint as an artillery forward observer with the U.S. Army's 1st Infantry Division in Vietnam. Congratulations, Mr. James. The Sergeant Major Dan Daly Award was established in memory of the legendary recipient of 2 Medals of Honor. The award recognizes a distinguished example of still photography by an individual, in black and white or color, which consists of a collection of photographs capturing U.S. Marines or Marine Corps life. This year's recipient is Mr. Lucian Reed for All of Which I Saw, an incredible book of photographs that capture United States Marine Corps actions during some of the most dramatic and important moments of the Iraq War. Mr. Reed is a multi-Emmy Award-winning documentary director, cinematographer, and photojournalist. Between 2004 and 2011, he spent more than 3 years embedded with U.S. forces in Iraq and Afghanistan and witnessed many of the pivotal events of both wars. His photojournalism work during the Iraq and Afghan wars for publications such as Vanity Fair, The New Yorker, Time, Newsweek, and Rolling Stone garnered a World Press Photo Award in 2006. A collection of his work is in the permanent collection of the National Museum of the Marine Corps. Congratulations, Mr. Reed. The Robert A. Gannon Award is given for a distinguished volume of original verse by a Marine poet or verse dealing specifically with Marine Corps life. This year's recipient is Mr. Justin T. Egan for The Sun Rises in Helmand, an 11-poem love letter to the Helmand province in Afghanistan, the war zone that became a home. Mr. Egan is a father, award-winning poet, motivational speaker, combat veteran, and undergrad student at Florida Atlantic University. He served in the United States Marine Corps from 2008 to 2012 as a combat engineer with 2nd Combat Engineer Battalion, 2nd Marine Division. Mr. Egan is a returning awards recipient, having won the Gannon Award in 2019. Congratulations, Mr. Egan. The General Roy S. Geiger Award was established by Colonel G.F. Robert Hankey, United States Marine Corps Reserve, in memory of his father, Wing Commander Ralph Hankey, Royal Air Force. It is named for General Geiger, the 5th designated naval aviator in Marine Corps history, who commanded both air and ground units during World War II. The award is given to the author of the best article published during the preceding year in the field of Marine Corps aviation. This year's recipient is Master Sergeant Jeff Dacus, United States Marine Corps Reserve, retired, for Don't Strafe Kahili, published in Leatherneck magazine. Master Sergeant Dacus is a retired Marine tanker who volunteers with local veterans groups and as a speaker at historical events. He's also a retired school teacher who taught U.S. history for 35 years. He's written numerous articles in Leatherneck, the Journal of the Company of Military Historians, Marine Corps Tankers Association newsletter, and Armor magazines, as well as online for the Journal of the American Revolution. His first book, The Fighting Corsairs, The Men of Marine Fighting Squadron 215 in the Pacific during World War II, was published in late last year. Congratulations, Mr. Dacus. The Sergeant William Gnaust Award is named for the motion picture cameraman who filmed the 1945 flag raising on Mount Suribachi shortly before he was killed in action on Iwo Jima. It is given for the best news story video of less than 40 minutes dealing with a Marine Corps-related event. This year's recipient is Chief Warrant Officer 3 Michael Kropanicki, United States Marine Corps, for Marine Corps Base Hawaii, Warrior Genesis, a news story that reflects on the personal decisions made by Marines who chose to serve in the ranks of the world's most elite fighting force. The video celebrates the extraordinary people who took the risk to fight for something larger than themselves and believed that something greater was more powerful than the fear of the unknown. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Kropanicki is a dynamic, innovative, visual information officer with 21 years of active duty service. He possesses a substantial track record for successfully leading, mentoring, and empowering Marines in various environments around the globe and within the information environment. He's a returning awards recipient, having won the Gnaust Award in 2018. Here's a short clip from his documentary.
Our Marine Corps continues to be an exclusive band of individuals who serve for many reasons. It is made up of passionate, adventurous, patriotic personalities who may or may not have known the risks when they walked into that Marine Corps recruiter's office, but took the gamble anyways. Was it worth the risk? Why do we continue to do this? Do we do it to make our mark on our Corps' celebrated history? Or is it to test ourselves in the face of unknown challenges? Those questions and their answers will be unique from Marine to Marine. While one oath can provide the beginning of a new journey, it also certainly take us on an incredible exploration of so many different reasons of why we serve. We exist today, we flourish today, not because of what we know we are or what we know we can do, but because of what the grassroots of our country believes we are and believes we can do. They believe that when trouble comes to our country, there will be Marines somewhere who, through hard work, have made and kept themselves ready to do something useful about it and do it at once. They believe that when Marines go to war, they invariably turn in a performance that is dramatically and decisively successful. Not most of the time, but always. Charles C. Krulak.
Congratulations, Chief Warrant Officer Kropanicki. The General Wallace M. Green Jr. Award is named for the 23rd Commandant of the Marine Corps and the godfather of the Marine Corps Historical Foundation, now Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. It is given for distinguished nonfiction dealing with U.S. Marines or Marine Corps life. This year's recipient is Mr. James H. Hallis for his book Saipan, The Battle That Doomed Japan in World War II. Mr. Hallis is a graduate of the Syracuse University's S.I. Newhouse School of Communications and has worked as an editor and publisher in the newspaper field for more than 35 years. His first book, The Devil's Anvil, The Assault on Peleliu, was published in 1994. Subsequent military histories include Killing Ground on Okinawa, The Battle for Sugarloaf Hill, Uncommon Valor on Iwo Jima, about the Medal of Honor recipients in that battle, and his most recent book, Saipan, The Battle That Doomed Japan in World War II. His father served with the Seabees in the Pacific during World War II. One uncle was with the PBY Squadron on Ford Island during the December 7 attack on Pearl Harbor, and another uncle served on Peleliu and Iwo Jima. Mr. Hallis and his wife Deborah live in Connecticut and have 2 sons. Congratulations, Mr. Hallis. The Colonel Julia E. Hamblett Award is named for the longest-serving Director of Women Marines, funded by a bequest from the estate of Lotus Mort and judged by the Women Marines Association. It is given to the individual or team who has done the most to further the recognition of the history of women who have earned the title Marine. This year's recipient is Master Sergeant Laura Dennis, United States Marine Corps Reserve, and is awarded posthumously. Master Sergeant Dennis's research included locating and preserving Marine Corps material to include documents, historical materials, and policies regarding women Marines during the period of 1946 to 1977. After her death, these documents and historical items and her other remaining Marine treasures were presented by the director of the Marine Corps Museum at the Navy Yard, Washington, D.C., to Master Sergeant Dennis's sister Marines, who were charged with maintaining her collection until such time they could locate a final home for this unique collection and the history it tells. Master Sergeant Dennis's treasured collection is of major importance and has for many years resided in the Women of the Corps collection. Master Sergeant Dennis was once described as a highly respected, intelligent, dedicated, hardworking Marine, an achiever and role model, loyal to our country and Corps, and truly a beautiful American Marine. Thank you, Master Sergeant Dennis, for your great work. Named for a Marine Corps icon and longtime friend of the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation, the Major Norman Hatch Award is given for a documentary feature, motion picture with a running time of more than 40 minutes, dealing creatively with U.S. Marine Corps heritage or Marine Corps life. An eligible documentary film is defined as a non-fiction motion picture photographed in actual occurrence. This year's recipients are co-directors Mrs. Laura Freudfahn and Mr. Antoine Favre for their documentary, The Devil Dogs. Laura is a French film director and editor who's passionate about history and very attached to her hometown, Chateau Thierry, which neighbors Belleau Wood. The first documentary film that she co-directed with Antoine Favre, The Devil Dogs, is about the Battle of Belleau Wood and about the strong link that still exists to this day between the French and the Americans who share this common history. Antoine learned the art of filmmaking, first at the University of Cinema in Bordeaux, France. He went to Brussels to study at the INSAS Film School and then studied journalism at the University of Montreal in Canada. He works as a freelancer in television and has traveled around the world. He has collaborated with a number of television and radio stations before directing his first documentary, The Devil Dogs, with Laura Freudfahn. Here's a short clip from their documentary.
Printemps 1918. Les Allemands ont pris pied dans le bois Belleau, qu'ils défendent, telle une forteresse. Il ne leur reste que 80 km à parcourir pour atteindre Paris. Le 31 mai, mal équipés et sans expérience du champ de bataille, les marines américains s'élancent en direction du bois. Ils ont pour ordre de le reprendre, quel qu'en soit le prix.
Je vois les soldats allemands, les Marines, dans les tranchées. Chaque endroit, pour moi, est une scène. À chaque endroit, je vois des personnages. À chaque endroit, je peux imaginer ce qui s'est passé. Mais c'est plus que de l'imagination, c'est carrément des flashs.
USMC, US Marine Corps.
Quand je trouve un objet, le seul intérêt pour moi, c'est de tracer une vie. De tracer un personnage et de mettre un visage. Et ma passion, c'est de traquer ce personnage. De savoir qui il était et pourquoi il est venu là, qu'est-ce qui lui est arrivé. Et puis, ce qui est super, c'est si on peut retrouver la famille et échanger avec la famille.
Congratulations, Ms. Freudfahn and Mr. Favre. The Colonel Robert D. Heinel Jr. Award is given in memory of the distinguished Marine Corps officer, journalist, and historian. Colonel Heinel was a founder of the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation and author of Soldiers of the Sea. The award is given to the author of the best article pertinent to Marine Corps history, published in a newspaper, magazine, journal, or other periodical during the preceding year. This year's recipient is Mr. Michael M. Phillips for his article, "The Bravest Thing Colonel Randy Hoffman Ever Did Was to Stop Fighting," a moving story of one man's recovery from the hidden wounds of war, published in the Wall Street Journal. Mr. Phillips has been a staff reporter in the Washington, D.C. Bureau of the Wall Street Journal for 25 years. He has covered the U.S. ground war in Afghanistan since 2001 and accompanied a Marine infantry squad from Kuwait to Baghdad during the 2003 invasion. He has covered U.S. Special Operations Forces in Somalia, Central African Republic, and the Sahel. At home, Mr. Phillips has written extensively about the psychological and emotional aftermath of war. In 2011, he was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize for his feature coverage of the war in Afghanistan. In 2016, the Congressional Medal of Honor Society presented him with the Tex McCrary Prize for his career coverage of the U.S. military. Mr. Phillips is also a past recipient of the Foundation's Major Megan McClung Award. Congratulations, Mr. Phillips. The Sergeant Major Bradley Castle Award is named for the Marine awarded the Navy Cross for his heroic actions during the Battle of Fallujah and is given for a distinguished example of a single still photograph by an individual which captures the character of the individual Marine or the core values of the United States Marine Corps. This year's recipient is Corporal Dalton Swanbeck, United States Marine Corps, for his photograph, Dark Horse, of Marines with Kilo Company BLT-35 11th MEU on a live fire mortar range at Camp Buehring, Kuwait. Corporal Swanbeck enlisted in the Marine Corps in December of 2015 and attended recruit training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina. After completing his military occupational specialty school, Corporal Swanbeck was assigned to Marine Corps Installations West Office of Communication at Camp Pendleton, California, where he served as a combat photographer. Corporal Swanbeck was then assigned to the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit and deployed as the Battalion Landing Team 35's photographer, capturing training exercises in Kuwait, Jordan, Malaysia, and the Philippines. In February of 2020, Corporal Swanbeck was reassigned to the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force Information Group as the photo chief for the Comstrat Digital Engagement Team. Congratulations, Corporal Swanbeck. The Major Megan McClung Award is named for the first female Marine Corps officer killed in combat during the Iraq War, where she was serving as a public affairs officer. The award is given for a distinguished example of reporting by an individual covering United States Marines abroad. This year's recipient is Mr. Dan Lamoth for his article, "Maybe This Is How Vietnam Vets Felt. Americans who fought in Afghanistan wait to see how their war ends," published in the Washington Post. Mr. Lamoth is a staff writer with the Washington Post and covers the U.S. military. He has traveled the world extensively to cover the stories of American service members, embedding with each service abroad and completing 4 different assignments alongside Marines in southern Afghanistan. He has journalism degrees from the University of Massachusetts Amherst and the University of Maryland College Park. He is a previous recipient of the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation's Major Megan McClung Award and the Colonel Robert D. Heinel Jr. Award. Congratulations, Mr. Lamoth. The Eugene Sledge Award is named for the Marine Corporal, University Professor, and author of With the Old Breed at Peleliu in Okinawa, and is presented for the best Marine memoir published during the preceding 3 years. This year's recipients are General James Mattis and Mr. Bing West for General Mattis's memoir, Call Sign Chaos, Learning to Lead. General Mattis is a Marine 4-star general whose battlefield innovations, leadership style, and clear strategic vision have won him the trust and affection of a generation of U.S. and Allied troops and millions of Americans. He's widely considered one of the most revered military leaders of our time. He led a battalion through minefields in Desert Storm in 1991, a naval task force into Afghanistan in 2001, a division to Baghdad in 2003, and a combined Army-Marine force in Anbar province. As a four-star general from 2010 to 13, he served as commander of U.S. Central Command, including all U.S. forces in the Middle East. He subsequently served as Secretary of Defense. A native of the Pacific Northwest, he's currently the Davies Family Distinguished Fellow at the Hoover Institution. General Mattis is a past recipient of the Foundation's Lieutenant General John A. Lejeune Recognition for Exemplary Leadership. Mr. West, a former Assistant Secretary of Defense, served in Marine infantry in Vietnam. He has written a dozen books about Marines in Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. He has twice been awarded the Department of Defense Distinguished Public Service Medal. His latest book, entitled The Last Platoon, is a metaphor of the Afghanistan War. He is also a two-time past recipient of the Foundation's General Wallace Green Award. Congratulations, General Mattis and Mr. West. The General Oliver P. Smith Award is named for the Commanding General of the 1st Marine Division in Korea, who, through his steadfast leadership in the field, paved the way for future viability and growth of the Marine Corps. The award is given for a distinguished example of local news reporting by an individual that illuminates the U.S. Marine Corps' relationship with local communities. This year's recipient is Ms. Erica Ritchie for her article, Marines Who Went to Hell and Back Nearly 10 Years Ago Rely on Camaraderie, Community to Heal, published in the Orange County Register and 10 other Southern California News Group publications. Ms. Ritchie is a reporter for the Orange County Register, as well as 10 other Southern California News Group newspapers and digital platforms, covering the military in South Orange County. Her military coverage focuses on Southern California and West Coast bases. Frequent military topics include training exercises, worldwide deployments, new warfare technologies, and the Corps' efforts in modernization and force redesign. She also follows Marines reintegrating into civilian life and looks at veterans' needs. Her writing often features stories of human conflict, struggle, and joy. Her enterprise storytelling helps readers understand the dangers facing people who keep our country safe and the responsibilities military branches have to the men and women who make those sacrifices. Ms. Ritchie is a past awards recipient, having received the General Oliver P. Smith Award in 2018. Congratulations, Ms. Ritchie. The Colonel John W. Thomason Jr. Award was established in memory of the decorated combat officer known for his artwork illustrating Marines in World War I, China, and Latin America. It is given for excellence in the fine or applied arts, including photography, in depicting the historic or contemporary Marine Corps. This year's recipient is Mr. John Deckert for his wide range of Marine Corps art from 2017 to 2019. Mr. Deckert joined the Marine Corps Reserves in 1966, training as a tank crewman. He was recently involved in 3 short missions with United States Marines to gather reference material for studio paintings. This resulted in paintings, drawings, and sketches for the permanent collection of the National Museum of the Marine Corps. In these works, compositional and thematic emphasis leans towards Marines who maintain and operate their equipment. Congratulations, Mr. Deckert. The James Webb Award is named for the senator, author, and Navy Cross recipient. It is given for a distinguished work of fiction dealing with U.S. Marines or Marine Corps life. This year's recipient is Mr. Carlos C.G. Cooper for his novel, Chain of Command. Mr. Cooper is the USA Today and Amazon best-selling author of the Core Justice novels, several spin-offs, and a growing number of standalone novels. Upon graduating from the University of Virginia with a degree in Foreign Affairs, Mr. Cooper was commissioned in the United States Marine Corps Infantry and served 6 years as an infantry officer. His final Marine duty station was in Nashville, Tennessee. Congratulations, Mr. Cooper. And once again, congratulations to each and every one of this year's award recipients. It is now my honor to present the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation's Heritage Award. The Heritage Award is presented to an individual or team that has provided unique and significant service to the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation in the fulfillment of its mission. In March 2011, Lieutenant General Rusty Blackman was named CEO of the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. The board of directors selected him specifically to be the foundation's lead in fundraising and building an additional 114,000 square feet of museum space to honor the Marines who served from the end of the Vietnam War until present day. Lieutenant General Blackman exceeded every expectation, raising the funds and completing construction of the final phase in 2017. The final phase of the National Museum of the Marine Corps includes a giant screen theater, expanded education suite, a children's gallery, and an art gallery, and created the space for a sports gallery, a hall of valor, and 2 historical galleries. His leadership, dedication, and commitment to the mission of preserving and sharing Marine Corps history and educating all Americans in its virtues was felt every day by the board, staff, and most importantly, our many supporters. Congratulations, General Blackman. We owe you a debt of gratitude for all that you accomplished for the Marine Corps. Now joining us from the museum's new extension of Legacy Walk, please welcome General Blackman.
Thank you, Jim. I'm grateful for that introduction. I am also grateful for this recognition, but I did nothing heroic. As is the case with many awards, I accept the Foundation's Heritage Award on behalf of many others who contributed to the success we experienced in completing our National Museum of the Marine Corps and establishing the vision to take the museum outside its walls and across the country to Marines and all Americans. Jim Lukeman, the staff, and the board are taking great strides in making that vision a reality. This award is for those who have provided unique and significant service to the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation in fulfillment of its mission. I did not earn it myself. First and foremost, this award goes to each of our donors, large and small. They make possible everything the Foundation does. Every day of the nearly 8 years I served the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation, I was humbled by the trust those donors put in the staff and board of directors. They gave the Foundation money asking nothing in return but the confidence we would use their money wisely to accomplish our mission, to preserve and promulgate the history, traditions, and culture of the Marine Corps and educate all Americans in its virtues: honor, courage, commitment, sacrifice, and selfless service. We understood the money was never the Foundation's, but always the donors. That trust is a humbling responsibility. Second, the board of directors brought its collective judgment, wisdom, and experience to the challenges faced by the Foundation. The directors provided the post-construction strategic vision that is being executed today. They too did not break trust with our donors by admiring an investment portfolio following construction, but by directing donors' money be put to good use to take the museum outside its walls. Last but far from least is the staff. I was blessed by having the privilege of working every day with focused, hardworking, imaginative, and committed people who never broke trust with donors and always had what the museum, in and outside its walls, meant to Marines and their families, and what sharing the history and virtues of Marines should mean to all Americans. All said, I do suffer one disappointment, however. When I first joined the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation, I was committed to ensuring that the history of the extraordinary generation of Marines who served in Iraq and Afghanistan was captured in our National Museum. When the museum first opened in 2006, the Vietnam generation brought their grandchildren. I wanted the Iraq and Afghanistan era Marines to bring their children so they could better understand why mom or dad was deployed in harm's way so often during those years. From the very beginning, when our National Museum was a vision, it was agreed that the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation would build the building and the Marine Corps would populate the galleries with the exhibitry that tells the story of our illustrious history. That has always made great sense to me. The brick and mortar of the final phase of the museum was completed in early April 2017. Now, over 4 years later, the historical galleries honoring Marines who made history in Beirut, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan are years from completion, as are the Hall of Valor and Sports Gallery. I hope there is still time for Iraq and Afghanistan veterans to bring their children and not their grandchildren to a gallery dedicated to their service. So as not to end on that note, as Marines, we are blessed to have a magnificent museum to honor our history, traditions, and culture. I was honored in my capacity at the foundation to have served Marines and their families, and with the donors, board of directors, and staff, to have been a part of such a memorable experience as completing our National Museum. Thank you for this award, which I accept with admiration for so many others who made it possible. Semper Fidelis.
Thank you, General Blackman, and again, congratulations. It is now my pleasure to introduce our acting chairman of the board, Mr. Paul Kausbeck.
Good evening. It is my distinct honor to announce our Lieutenant General John A. Lejeune Recognition for Exemplary Leadership. The Foundation established this honor to recognize individuals who have demonstrated leadership in their chosen profession or appointed or elected position that is clearly exemplary and worthy of emulation. The recipient must epitomize the core values of honor, courage, and commitment, and practice the leadership traits and principles ascribed to by General Lejeune and the United States Marine Corps. This year's Lejeune Recognition goes to the former NASA administrator, astronaut, and Marine aviator, Major General Charles Bolden, Jr. Major General Charles Bolden charted a pioneering career in the U.S. Marine Corps and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. He flew more than 100 combat missions in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, and orbited the Earth on 4 separate occasions as a NASA space shuttle pilot and mission commander. In 2009, President Barack Obama asked General Bolden to leave his position as CEO of his aerospace, national security, and leadership consulting firm to serve as the 12th administrator of NASA. He was the first African American confirmed by the U.S. Senate to fill this role, a precedent that General Bolden insists is only important if he is one day followed by women or other persons of color. With a focus on the future, General Bolden tells young people that he is just an ordinary person who has been blessed with opportunities to do extraordinary things as he challenges audiences to consider what can be accomplished when people dream big dreams together. General Bolden is most deserving of this recognition and award, and I am personally honored to present the Lieutenant General John A. Lejeune Recognition for Exemplary Leadership. Joining us from the museum's Vietnam Gallery, please welcome Major General Charles Bolden.
Good evening to all with us this evening. Allow me first of all to express my sincere appreciation to Major General Lukeman and the Board of Directors for this incredible honor tonight. Congratulations to all my fellow honorees on the myriad awards you will all be receiving this evening. I must admit to being quite humbled by the incredible works of our award winners, who, through their literary, art, and film production skills, have compiled an exceptional collection of works that exemplify the very living, breathing example of the mission of the Foundation. It is a particular honor to be sharing the podium this evening with 2 good friends and fellow Marines with whom I served, Lieutenant General Rusty Blackman, recipient of the Heritage Award, and General Jim Mattis, winner of the Eugene Sledge Award for the Best Memoir with his co-author, Being West. It's particularly poignant to be recognized on an evening when an award is presented named in honor of Major Megan McClung, one of my midshipmen at the Naval Academy. during my tenure as the Deputy Commandant of Midshipmen, who would regretfully go on to be the first female Marine Corps officer to be killed in combat in the war in Iraq. As I reviewed the descriptions of the works of each of our award winners for this evening, I was particularly impressed and moved by the short-form documentary by the Sergeant William Gnaust Award winner, Chief Warrant Officer Michael Kropanicki, Marine Corps Base Hawaii, Warrior Genesis. For those who may not have taken the opportunity to view it yet, it reflects on the personal decisions made by Marines who chose to serve in the ranks of the world's most elite fighting force, our Marine Corps. Through this powerful documentary, Warrant Officer Kropanicki presents the story of the diversity in race, gender, ethnicity that makes us an unbeatable force. In many ways, it is a challenge to those of us who lead today to take on the mantle of being diversity champions, of speaking out for inclusion and equity in our ranks, to ensure that we represent at every level and in every way the nation we serve. We are threatened today in all our services, as we are across our nation, by extremism, racism, and intolerance, as evidenced by the storming of the citadel of our democracy, the United States Capitol building, on January 6th of this year. This was a stark reminder for all of us who serve under our oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. So as I humbly accept this award for exemplary leadership named for Lieutenant General John A. Lejeune, our 13th Commandant, whose message we read at every Marine Corps birthday celebration, it is my hope and my pledge that I will be an example to Marines everywhere to treat others with respect and dignity, to set the example for advocating for diversity, inclusion, and equity in recruiting, hiring, retention, and promotion, so that our Corps represents the nation we serve, from the newest recruits to our senior-most general officers. It is on these achievements and goals and aspirations that our Marine Corps depends. Thank you again for this incredible honor. Semper Fi.
Thank you, General Bolden, for joining us this evening and for continuing your extraordinary service to our nation. Congratulations once again. I am honored now to introduce our military guests of honor, the 38th Commandant of the Marine Corps, General David Berger, and the 19th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, Sergeant Major Troy Black. These Marines have the awesome responsibility of readying our Marines and sailors to meet the challenges of today while preparing our Corps to meet the challenges of the future. Their steady leadership for our Corps during turbulent times makes us all proud to be Marines. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us from the museum's World War II gallery, General Berger and Sergeant Major Black.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start by thanking the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation for their total commitment to preserving the legacy and traditions of our great Corps. It's through you that so much of our history is brought to life and made available for everyone to experience and witness. It's an honor for Sergeant Major Black and I to recognize the accomplishments of this year's recipients. We're humbled that you dedicated so much of your time, energy, and talents to telling our stories and enriching the history of the Marine Corps. In so many colorful ways, you've immortalized the spirit and sacrifice of the brave men and women who've graced our ranks for nearly 250 years.
We hope you take great pride in knowing that you are now and forever a part of our history. Legacies of motivation and inspiration that countless generations of current and future Marines will draw upon for strength and confidence. Whether it be through the mediums of written word, photo and video, reporting, stage play, art, or a life of service, all of you, whether Marine or civilian, exemplify our fighting spirit and most sacred core values of honor, courage, and commitment. In your works, you have captured the Marine essence, a long tradition of overcoming impossible odds, thriving in discomfort, and running towards danger.
As you are all well aware, the Marine Corps is undertaking a historical transformation, one that will change how we fight, but not who we are, the nation's expeditionary force and readiness. And there's no doubt your achievements will stimulate the sense of obligation and creativity in countless others to capture this transformation. Thank you again for your service of leadership and memorializing the Marine Corps in your own special and unique ways. We wish you all fair winds and following seas.
Semper Fidelis.
General Berger, Sergeant Major Black, thank you for joining us tonight to help us celebrate Marine Corps history and heritage and those who have contributed to it in so many ways over the last year. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you again for your exemplary leadership of our Corps. Thank you once again to all of our award recipients for helping the Foundation continue to preserve and share the history, traditions, and culture of the United States Marine Corps. To each and every one of you at home tuning in tonight, thank you for your continued support. We look forward to the day when we can all be together again in this home for all Marines. To close out our program, please welcome back the President's own Marine Band. Good night and Semper Fi.
The sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. At 'em now, give 'em the gun, give 'em the gun. Down we dive, fanning our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, or go down in flame. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and